Well, ladies and gentlemen, AMC stock is up almost 7% at the time of recording this video, and we don't have the official short interest report yet. I'm hoping by the end of the day this comes out, but as you can see from AMC's price action today, you're already getting a bullish response. Potentially, some people already know what that exchange reported short interest is going to look like. So let's get into kind of what's going on today in the markets with AMC, all the data you need to know. And then hopefully by 4 p.m. we will have the new exchange reported short interest, and we'll get you that information as soon as possible later today. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. So AMC stock is quite green today. Now, there's really not a rhyme or a reason to it, I guess you could say. The markets are actually red quite a bit today, especially with the Nasdaq down about 0.5%. Russell 2000 is slightly positive on the day today, but we're heading into tomorrow's CPI event. So it's one of those situations where today is really like a burn one kind of day. Today doesn't matter too much in the grand scope of things. Tomorrow is going to be the big day, and we'll go over expectations for CPI as well. But there is no rhyme or reason why AMC stock is up about 7% today, which is quite a strong day. Now, we've fallen a lot with AMC's share price, so a 7% move is like 47 cents now. So let's not be confused here, right? You're bouncing a little bit, but we're still at the lows pretty much. Now, I do think we're in for a much larger bounce from here. Some of the things you need to be watching for: number one is the 8-day moving average. That is at $9.80 per share. We've followed this perfectly ever since the reverse split happened. As you can see, we got resistance here, and you gapped down both days in a row, and then you came up, you tested this as resistance, you went above it for one day, and then boom, AMC comes out. They're issuing 40 million shares. Well, now you're starting to again bottom out, make your way to the upside. You want to see if we break above the 8-day moving average. If we do, that's where things start to look a lot more bullish on the technicals for AMC stock. Now, the RSI is basically at the same point that it was at. It's at 25.25. You've kind of been hanging out at this range for a while. I've talked about this before, but you're no longer just falling on the RSI. It's not getting more and more oversold. You're kind of seeing a bottoming process actually with the RSI. At least that's what it looks like. And with the MACD, things look a lot more constructive there. You're obviously very negative on the MACD. It's obviously not a great situation what we've went through, but as you can see, this yellow line is almost crossing above the blue line here today. This is something that I talked about in multiple videos now, that you really want to see this yellow line break above the blue line and then start to trend towards positive on the MACD. But it's usually when you get that break of the yellow line going above the blue line, things start to look a lot more bullish. So given the drop that we have seen and just the sheer amount of selling that we have seen, the technicals right now very much signal a larger kind of bounce or rally to come. And these are some of the things that I would be watching for. Excuse me. It looks like by the end of the day today, the MACD probably going to be positive. If not today, probably tomorrow. And I do think something that has kind of been weighing down AMC stock is the fact that if you look at the short interest, we're estimated still at about 11% short interest. And I'll go ahead and refresh this to see if it just came in the report or not. No. So for August 15th, that was the last settlement date. We did have 29.24% short interest of free float. That was when AMC stock was $33 per share. It's likely a lot higher than that here today. But the estimates from Ortex are 11.66%. How do you expect people to be bullish or optimistic on AMC when we're getting false estimates of 11.5%? Right? That just doesn't kind of in line with bullishness around a squeeze. Right? Now, the cost to borrow fees have also been very low, and that's because the estimated short interest of free float is also very low. Think about it like this. If you are someone that is willing to lend out shares of AMC, if the short interest is 50%, well, your odds of actually getting a short squeeze and seeing your stock appreciate in value are a lot higher than 11%. So wouldn't you charge a higher cost to borrow fee for people that wanted to short that stock, given if you lock up your shares for 3 months, meaning you lend out your shares for 3 months, just call it 3 months, then if AMC share price 10x in value, you wouldn't be able to just call your shares back immediately, right? And who knows what could happen in that time frame, that 3-month time frame after 10x. So just as an example there, the cost to borrow fees are also highly dictated on the short interest of free float. Usually when short interest spikes, the cost to borrow fees spike as well. So I'm expecting something similar, to that could start here today. I do believe the short interest is likely 40, 50 plus. Could be 60%, could be 70, could be over 100% short interest. That's kind of what I am looking at as of right now. Now, the average analyst price target is $21.68. This is a return potential of 195.39%. AMC stock is in deep value territory. Let's be honest with that. Let's not fool ourselves. You're not buying a hype stock at this point. It's not a hype stock anymore. It's a deep value stock. Look, you're even lower than you were during January of 2021, before the rally. So that's, not it's not an expensive company at this point. It's a very cheap company on a fundamental basis. So that could also help drive some other investors into AMC stock as well. Now, let's take a look at the Stocko tracker data, see what we are dealing with here. And there is quite a few more calls now in the money. 64,703. Calls out the money, 183,507. Puts in the money, 128,000. Puts out the money, 236,000. So there is a decent amount of option activity for this week, and I do think today's short interest report, whenever we get those numbers actually coming out, could help kind of push a lot of people into options, and that could create a lot more volatility as well. And the FTD numbers, the FTDs are still here, even though AMC is not on the threshold securities list. Last we knew, there is 4-ish million FTDs that are out there that still need to be closed out of, and we're going to get more data on this hopefully in the next day or two that kind of paints a better picture for what to expect for next week. But even starting off next week on Monday, you have 4.5 million FTDs that do need to be closed out, right? And these are cumulative, these are running, so just 4.5 million total, not necessarily they have to be closed out on any one single day. So there's still a lot of shares out there that do need to be closed out of, and this is a very much anti-dilutive effect to AMC's share price. AMC stock to some degree now is following the markets. AMC stock up almost 10% now at the time of recording this video, and the S&P 500, if you look at this on a 1-minute candlestick chart, really started to pop for no reason really, and this is taking up AMC stock quite a few percentage points also. So this is a trend that might continue now, as AMC is now in a value stock territory. Maybe the market's going higher does also help AMC move higher. That would be an interesting change of pace for AMC stock. And I keep trying to see if the official short interest report is out yet, and it is indeed not. Now, tomorrow is going to be the big day for the markets as far as the CPI report, and your expectations are very high. So your core month over month is expected at 0.2%. That's unchanged from last month, so we're not expecting a change there. Core at 0.2% is okay, that's fine. Core inflation rate year over year, that's expected to decrease from 4.7% last month to 4.3%. Your inflation rate month over month, you're expecting this to increase from 0.2% last month to 0.6%. That would be an over 6% annualized rate of inflation. That would obviously be really high and not so great. Your year-over-year numbers are expected at 3.6%. Last month's reading was 3.2%. The only thing that really matters, I want you guys to know, is the core numbers. We're expecting higher inflation on your headline numbers. If your core numbers do come in higher than expectations and your headline does, that's where you could have quite the problem on our hands, guys. So that is going to do it for this video. I am watching the data. I am waiting for the data. Whenever that data comes out, we will get it to you as soon as humanly possible. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.